Afternoon YouTube, Ash outdoors, currently outdoors. Wandleberry, having a little dog walk. Right, today's video is a tag video. Not going to be doing much more tags after Lee's one last week, but anyway, so today's video is my top 5 camping tips for beginners. Now, like I say, it's a tag video. There's been quite a few videos done of it already. I haven't watched a lot of them. I've watched 3 or 4. Tagged by English Woodsman, so thanks for the tag, Dan. And I'll bring you my 5 tips. They've probably been covered by everybody else, but if you stumble across this video and haven't seen any of those, then you might find some of them useful. Anyway, tip number 1. Okay, so tip number 1 is plan well and stay local. So if it's your first wild camp, research the area a little bit. You've got so many good apps. There's if you've got an iPhone, the satellite version of your maps is always good to check that out. There is View Ranger, which I quite often use, so that also gives you public footpaths and bridle ways to use, so you can sort of plan somewhere that is public but you can get yourself off the beaten track, so it kind of gives you an idea of where people could be walking through. And also Google Earth, it's another good resource, but there's loads of good places on the internet. So plan where you're going to go and stay local. Use the internet to your advantage. If you haven't got access to the internet, then get some, because you should. Or just find a local map, or just go for a walk, find some places. So yes, plan out where you're going to go and make a thorough plan. That's tip number 1. Right, tip number 2 is, if you're trying it out for the first time, don't go buying loads of expensive gear. If you've got a friend who likes wild camping, who's got a load of gear, tap them up, see if they'll lend you some stuff. I mean, really all you need is a tent, a sleeping mat for insulation on your back, and a sleeping bag. So I'd recommend, if you're going to try it for the first time, maybe go in summer when you're not going to have horrendous weather conditions. If you're going out and it's peeing with rain for the first time and you're cold, it's going to put you off. So yeah, so tip number 2, don't buy a load of gear. If you can, just try and, you can always get stuff from like Tesco's. You can probably spend 50 to 100 pounds on everything you'd need for a summer camp, just to try it out. You don't need to take expensive stoves like your Thermarests and Hilleberg tents. You could just buy a pop-up tent, which actually one of my friends does. He's not a wild camper, but we often have a meet up, and he's got one of those fold out blow up tents, I think they're called. So you literally just chuck it in the air. Nelson, this way. Just throw it in the air and it opens up, and yeah, it just puts a £5 roll mat on the floor and then a sleeping bag. That's all you need for your first wild camp. So don't go buying all expensive gear for something that you might not like. You'll like it. You'll definitely like it. Tip number 3, make a list. So make a little checklist of everything that you want to take for your first wild camp. You'll have that list, keep it on your phone or write it down and keep it somewhere safe. Nelson! Nelson! This way. Yeah, you can always refer back to it every time you want to go out for a wild camp. Just do a tick list. Also take that with you and maybe list everything that you did find useful on your wild camp. And you can also put on that what you want to take next time. So if there's anything you needed that you didn't have, you can do it. So number 3, make a list and keep it. Tip number 4, don't put yourself at risk, especially if you haven't done it before, and obviously wild camping being something you're not going to be on people's land. So if you don't know what you're doing, maybe don't start a fire and use things like knives and whatnot until you've got a little bit more experience and confidence in your skills. Just be safe. So always tell somebody where you're going. Maybe what I tend to do if I've gone somewhere a little bit more remote is pin my location on my phone and then just send that over to the missus, so that somebody always knows where you are. It's also, if you're out in the sticks, middle of nowhere, you're not always likely to get signal on your phone. So if things did go wrong, at least somebody knows where you are, and they can send out emergency services or whatnot. So yes, be safe. It's tip number 4. My last and not least tip, number 5, is enjoy yourself. I'm sure you will. Once most people go out for the first time on your own, you're going to love it. English Woodsman did touch on the fact that you're probably going to be scared. It's just in human nature. It's going to be dark, it's going to be noises, especially in the woodland, that are going to be alien to you. So do expect to have some anxiety and apprehension. It's not going to be plain sailing. Even going out on my own sometimes now, still get creeped out by things like the little noises that a mouse running around in the leaves can sound like somebody walking up to your tent. So yeah, just be prepared. Be prepared to be scared. I think that's pretty much all of my bases covered now. Thanks to Dan, the English Woodsman, for tagging me in this, and Paul Thompson also tagged me in this as well, so thanks to you, mate. Now I'm going to go, there's people coming, you know what I'm like, talking to people in front of cameras. This is a tag video. I'm not so keen on tags anymore, but I'm going to do this one because it's for a good cause, I think, to help people out, beginners and stuff. So I'm going to tag Carrie, UK Carrie Outdoors. I don't know if she's had this tag yet. Joe from Joe's Outdoors Adventures, I'll tag Joe, and Mr. Hazard Outdoors. I want to hear your tips, buddy. Right, anyway guys, that's probably enough for today. Hopefully be allowed out in a few months' time, but tip number 6, been reminded to me by my wife, which I should have mentioned as well. Leave no trace. If you're going out into the woods or in a mountain and you take rubbish, you take that rubbish home with you. So that is my 6 tips for wild campers. Thanks guys, catch up soon, bye bye.